I used to always say I wanted to volunteer more, but when it actually came down to signing up to do long hours of menial work, well, let's just say I lost my excitement. I think this is something that a lot of us struggle with. We just might not readily admit it. But I don't think there's anything wrong with wanting to enjoy the time you're choosing to spend volunteering. So in today's video, I'm going to share with you a way I discovered to volunteer where you can work on cool projects and utilize skills you're passionate about.
Yay!
In the spirit of the current situation, we're only going to look at virtual opportunities. So no need to worry about the virus that must not be named. All right, if you're as excited as I am, tap that thumbs up and let me tell you about something called skill-based volunteering. If you've never heard of skill-based volunteering, basically nonprofits post projects they need help on that require some level of skill. Some examples of these projects are creating branded digital content, web design, logo design, creating animations, copywriting, finance support, many, many more. Some projects will be simple enough that they can be done in a few hours, while some may be so complex that they take many weeks to complete. The variety in time commitment and skills required gives you the flexibility to find a project that requires skills you're passionate about, but also has a timeline that fits around your life. All right, now that you know what skill-based volunteering is, let's take a look at my favorite site to find skill-based opportunities, which is called catchafire.org. All right, so here we are at catchafire.org. And the very first thing I'm going to do is click this button that's front and center that says find a project. So as you can see, there are over 300 opportunities posted right now. So the first thing that you're going to want to do is go to the filter bar and click on this skills filter and basically just pick the skills that you're comfortable with. Now, you can pick skills that you're advanced at, or if you want, you can pick skills that you want to develop. A lot of these projects aren't going to require as heavy knowledge and expertise in these skills as a paid gig would obviously require. So for example, if I were to come in here and pick mine, maybe I want branding, graphic design, let's say social media, marketing, and let's just see what we get. So now we're kind of dwindled down to 146 opportunities, still a lot. So if you want, as you can see, some of these are, let's say, phone calls, and then others are actual projects. I like to do projects because I just think they're a little bit more fun. So if you click on this length button in the filter, you can uncheck the phone calls if you want. And what's even more awesome is you can filter for causes. So let's say you really are passionate about something and you would really like to volunteer for something with that kind of cause. You can come in here and select that filter. But for now, I'm just gonna keep it all open. And I can just start browsing. So what's great is you have kind of what that project is, what the nonprofit is, and a quick little blurb, but as well you have the project length. So you can see this one, it's 2 to 4 weeks. Let's say I'm looking for something that's a little bit longer. As I scroll down here, this one, all right, we have a social media content calendar, which is 4 to 6 weeks. So let's just click on that one and look at some additional information. So now you have just some more information about, what the nonprofit is, what this project is, when it was posted, and project details. So these project details are a little bit more generic. Most of these projects kind of have, just a few lines of what the project needs. You don't get a whole lot of information, but you just kind of get the basic information of what's required. The important thing to look for is this availability, where they tell you, okay, this is, all of these are going to be works remotely from anywhere, but then you have 20 to 30 hours over 4 to 6 weeks. So you really want to take a look at this and say, okay, am I able to commit that? Does that work around my schedule? Now, it might end up being a little bit more or a little bit less depending on your skill level and how long it actually takes you to do this work. I've had projects where it actually takes me a lot longer because I was learning how to, do the skill as I was helping them out. But let's say you decide, I do like how this project looks. I kind of want to volunteer for it. You'll see that there's an apply now button. And you might be thinking, well, wait, why do I have to apply for this if it's a volunteer opportunity? It's not to vet you and to see let's see how skilled this person is and let's see your prior experience. Basically, it's just to make sure that you have the skills that they seek out, because sometimes these postings can be a little generic and it might not fully encompass the kinds of skills they want. So if you do click the apply now button, at this point, you're gonna have to either sign up with LinkedIn or sign up normally. I'm just gonna log in since I'm already a member. So at this point, they just want some basic information. Do you meet the prerequisites of this? Then if you wanna put a profile picture and then a biography. Then you can, put some of your work experience if you want. And then basically they just have a couple free text areas where they wanna know, okay, how does your prior experience match with what they are looking for here? Honestly, I only write like a sentence for this. They show an example here, which is just, I have 5 years of experience in the financial industry, blah, blah, blah. So it's very brief. Don't stress about this. And then tell us why you're interested about this cause, saying why this cause speaks to you. This can just be very simple. Again, just one sentence. And then if you want, you can add files or a link to maybe your portfolio to show them if you have other work. All right, and then last step is to just review and submit. Now, at this point, once you click submit, basically what's gonna happen is the organization is gonna take a look at your application, and if they, feel, okay, this person could work for what we need, they'll basically set up an interview. Now, don't freak out because this isn't really an interview. It's more so just a call to make sure, okay, let's go over what we are kind of looking for in this project, and then the amount of time that they expect it to take, along with any kind of timelines they have. Like maybe they have a launch, in a couple months that they want to make sure it's done in time for. But most of the time they're very flexible. I mean, these are nonprofits, so they can't really be too picky usually about getting this free labor and how stringent they are with timelines. So don't fret about, this. It's called an interview, but it's more so just an introduction to make sure you're both in line with what the work is involved. So one thing that I really, really love that Catch a Fire does is if you go to your profile page, once you have, 1 or 2 projects under your belt, you can click on this projects tab, and essentially this brings you to your impact page. So as you can see, I've so far completed 3 projects, and each project gives you an estimated dollar amount for how much you saved that nonprofit, because obviously they didn't have to hire somebody to do this work. And then at the top, you have your total impact. So what's really, really cool about this is you can add this experience to LinkedIn or to your resume and reference this URL and basically say, I've done all this volunteering and I've saved these nonprofits approximately this much money. And so it's a really, really cool way to measure the impact you've made and to show that, I'm not just doing these random projects that are kind of not really adding a lot of value. These are really adding value and saving these nonprofits real dollars, especially if you need volunteer experience for your resume. And also if you're looking to maybe get a job in a different industry and kind of, show that you have these skills, instead of just trying to have kind of like personal projects that you've worked on, these are real projects where you've actually worked under somebody in this setting, and you can reach out to people you've worked with and see if they even be a reference for you in a job interview. So that's what I really love about this, is that there's a lot of different uses for this impact page. All right, so we're at the end, but before you click onto that next video, please just go to catchafire.org, spend 5 minutes browsing and just see if something piques your interest. And of course, before you leave, tap that thumbs up and subscribe so you don't miss my next video. I'll see you next time.